Hey everybody, welcome to Obscurities and Miniatures. We're back with more Japanese model kits because that's what I want to build. Sorry if that's not what you want to see. I'm not really going to cry about it. Anyway, we got Zeorymer of the Heavens today, which is one that I've been wanting to get around to building and I just never did. Because for whatever reason, Moderoid released Great Zeorymer first, which was an odd choice, but nothing had ever been made with Great Zeorymer, so I guess it kind of makes sense. But Zeorymer is an interesting one because the manga started as like a full-on hentai manga and actually was one of the first releases by the guy that would go on to create the Guyver comics, and I can't think of his name off the top of my head at the moment. But then he went back years later and actually gave the original comic book series a proper ending, which it had always lacked. They took the original basis, toned it down a little bit, and then made the animated version of Zeorymer. Decades later, we'd see Zeorymer show up in the Super Robot Wars that were on the Game Boy Advance, if I remember correctly. That's where Great Zeorymer first showed up, I believe. And I don't know, you can see him in his glory right here. So one of the things that always struck me with Zeorymer was he really reminded me of a super fancy Orgroid, like one of the Orgus mechs, which was a Kawamori design, Shoji Kawamori, but I don't think he had anything to do with Zeorymer itself. So that was always kind of a surprise. Just something about it always screamed Orgus. I'm just tearing the box to shreds here. It's not like I'm going to keep it. Oh my god, I can't get it out. What is going on here? Okay, I have to smash it apart on both ends. Sorry, box, you're gone. One of the nice things about the Moderoid kits is everything is basically going to be color-coded. You're not going to need to do any real significant painting. I mean, you can, and a lot of people do, but I'm not gonna. Nobody got time to do all that. Oh my god, my desk smells like fossil fuels or something. I don't know what it is about those like Joy Toy figures I've been messing around with. They stink up the table. You can see here, I guess like when you first open them, a lot of the parts actually do have pre-painted apps on them. Somewhere is the head. I haven't come across that yet. Again, pre-painted. Some joints. I got more stuff down here. Rubbery joint things. More translucent. Oh no, I stand corrected. There's actually stickers. Oh my goodness. That's okay. I don't mind. I'm just hurling the box away. That's what we want to see, right? Not the mess on my table here, because I haven't cleaned off everything. I've got like surrounded by figures. Okay, we have our decal guide right here. I'm not sure what those yellow parts are, because I'm wondering if those are the pre-painted ones? It shows us which are at least not being used. Funny thing, Moderoid hasn't switched over to using bilingual directions. I mean, Zeorymer is a somewhat recent release, as of me even filming this. Not the most recent, but I mean, there is at least the sub-assemblies labeled in English and where you need to worry about the undergates. Oh god, undergates, always the bane of my existence. I mean, it doesn't look super complex. Lots of finished colors, like I said, so that'll be fun. I do like all the translucent bits in there. You can see the finished design here. Hopefully it's going to be a little bit more sturdy than Great Zeorymer, who was kind of floppy, but you can't really blame him since he has such ridiculous parts hanging out and jutting out from all over him. And I'll do all of us a favor. I will bring him home. He's been sitting on my desk at work for ages, and, you know, he could probably use a good dusting off as it is, so why not bring him back and, you know, treat him to a nice cleaning. But I'll get this built. We'll grab a couple other kits. We'll see how everything turns out, and you shall sit tight. Alright, Zeorymer of the heavens descends to inflict his mayo upon everybody. And activate it. I can get his hands there. Probably if I really wanted to try, as he smashes it and causes a big, huge nuclear meltdown or whatever. I don't even remember. I know that's the mayo was the name of the attack. Okay, so the kit itself. I'm very unhappy with the Great Zeorymer kit, and in fact, I was going to bring it, and I had it flop apart on me at work, and after cussing up a storm about it, I decided, you know what, best to just leave it off camera because it wasn't that impressive. In terms of construction, I mean, it is a nice looking model if it's just a big statue. This guy, however, I gotta say, I gotta give credit to Moderoid and Good Smile for this. They really stepped up the quality. The joints are tight, everything. I mean, there's a few little gaps that are gonna need filling. Maybe I need to file things down better. But overall, it's a solid kit. And I was talking with Sparkletrout because he just built the Maddox 01 from Moderoid as well, and he was saying the exact same thing. Nice, solid, chunky, sturdy construction. That's great. That's what we want to see with these kinds of kits. I feel, for its price, I feel it's a little small. I really do feel it's a little small. Let's see my poor stickering skills there in effect. And we had this discussion the other day, I know, but I still feel like there's something about it that still makes me think Kawamori design, and I don't know why. I feel like maybe the colors and the overall shape really might remind me of the Orga stuff. So when I say I'm not very impressed with its size for the cost, I mean, look, here's a 1/144th Gundam. It's a little bit bigger, but not by much. And, you know, when you're double or triple the price of a kit like this, yes, you may be mass-produced, you may be a little bit more obscure and, you know, not a high-demand model necessarily, but I feel like for the cost, it should be a little bit bigger. Now, granted, I did get it for a pretty good discount, but that's more due to me really just spending way too much time online looking for prices that are palatable, for lack of a better word, when it comes to me. I mean, I don't like to break the bank when it comes to buying plastic model kits, especially with the sheer amount of content that I tend to put on this channel. You know, I try to keep all of my finances for the channel within the channel. So any kind of like outside hobby stuff, I really, you know, I try to keep my hands off that cash. I like to keep this is pretty much self-sustaining at this point. I just got to get really picky about things. But anyway, we can talk finances later. But that's the thing, you know. I guess, and that's just kind of the price you got to pay. If you want something funky, you're gonna have to pay for it, unfortunately. So if you don't mind the cost, if it's a figure design that you really appreciate, I mean, I've always liked it, and this dude has saved my butt many times in old Super Robot Wars games. I think it was on the Game Boy Advance, and more recently in Iron Saga on my phone, which is like one of the very, very few phone games I actually will regularly play. I'm weird like that. Anyway, I mean, it's just a solid kit. I'm really happy with it as I'm playing with his hands, moving up and down, marching. Just, you know, I don't know. There is an adapter down there. That's interesting too. You got him on the feet. But there is an adapter in the crotch area, so if you wanted to have him floating, flying, blasting stuff, that is totally doable. Maybe when work is done and I pack things up for the summer, because I'm not filming this in the summer, we can see about having his buddies show up and pose together. But yeah, overall, I'm really happy with it. And I mean, if this is the kind of quality I'm going to get from Moderoid, I'm going to continue to keep my eyes peeled for more of their kits for a reasonable price. We'll have that caveat. So hopefully if you guys are interested, track down some of those good deals like I am and just save the good ones for me too. Okay? Please. Yeah. So anyway, with that said then, this has been High Lord Tamberlane with Obscurities and Miniatures, saying thanks for watching, and we'll see you back here soon. Bye-bye.